I think we have a beautiful countryside. We have a beautiful Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. That is actually where we are right now. So we are in Schwerin, and does it work? Yeah. And I would like to show you around the city. And I think since I'm teaching, I think it's always good to know where we start, and that's why I brought the map. And I would like to explain that a bit, because we are in...
So what's that statue for?
This is a victory column.
Victory column.
For the victims of the war.
Okay. Thank you.
Former East Germany. And you know that we were divided in East and West Germany. So in 1961 we got this horrible wall which divided East and West of Berlin, and of course East and West of Germany was also divided not by a wall but by a bordering fence. And today is a very historical day. I don't know if you know, but this is the day of reunification. This is the anniversary day. So in 1989 Germany got reunited. I grew up in former East Germany. I was born in the former East, and maybe later on when you are having questions you could of course ask me. I think I can tell you one or the other story that you would not read in textbooks. But let's have a look at the map. So maybe so here you can see the map of Germany, and you see all these colorful spots. We would say they are the countries in our country. So we have new countries, that is former East Germany, and that is where my hand is right now. So this is former East Germany. You see, it's relatively small in comparison to the former West. The capital of former East Germany was East Berlin. Berlin is right here, and we are here. And all of it, Schwerin, for instance, is in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, which is the most northern state of the former East. And you might ask yourself, well, why do they still speak in terms of East and West? Aren't they united? Yes, we are, but people who grew up in the former East still have a past, and somehow we are also proud of this. But I have recently seen a documentation which also kind of shocked me, because it showed to me that there are still many people who don't feel completely equal, also with regard to maybe the chances that they have in this new Germany. So they have the impression that they are neither seen nor heard. I think this is the time when we have to say goodbye to old illusions and also to nostalgia. We should look into the future. But when you look to your left-hand side, we will also go to this building. There you see these figures, and you see so there are still some problems with money in the former East, for instance. So especially culture is maybe less supported, and the actors and also the people who are involved in culture, in theater, are worried about the future of their theater. But when you look to your right, then you will see there are also treasures here in East Germany, and I think that you came for those treasures. And I would also like to talk a little bit about this building on the left-hand side, though you will have, of course, a guided tour inside this castle. It is a fairy tale castle, and what you see looks older than it actually is. So this, what you can see right here, was built in 1847 up to 1857. So it's relatively new. We call that castle the Neuschwanstein. And her ladies. We have here got a lot of rooms, and I will show you
date back to the 15th and 14th century. And in the 19th century, they let stand only the church and 3 other buildings, and all the buildings belonging to the town were neglected and were built up new. It's a new part of our town, it's a very old part. We are now in the old part. In this room, it is the social room of the Grand Duchess. They all came together in the room, and they had to speak about the day. What is happening? Who is coming? What can we prepare? We will have extortion, or somebody will come to us, maybe the king from Berlin, and then we must prepare all. The walls of this nice room are made of stupulous wood. Stupulous wood is a special thing looking like marble, but it's only the powder of marble in water with other materials, and so one could make a nice wall. In this room is called Legends Room. Under the ceiling we see pictures of old legends of Europe or Germany. Tristan and Isolde, Poor Henry, and so on. Gudrun, Saga, Gudrun. Yes, and the columns in this room were installed in 19th century. Why? The uncle of the Grand Duke was the German king, and when the king came, it must be, it had to look not nicer than it is, with columns in front of the door. Yes. Look up. It's called Blücher room, Blücherzimmer. Blücher was a well-known general, German general. He defeated Napoleon, and him helped English General Wellington. Blücher and Wellington together made Napoleon down. Yes. This room is looking a little bit military with the soldiers in front of the doors. It is a reminiscence to old Greek and Roman palaces. In front of the palaces always stood a pair of soldiers to be contra bad people. Yes? Yes. Please look, this table only 2 times exists in the world, made in Hamburg. Very nice, inlaid work. See. The little round room over there has been a ballroom for one of the Grand Duchess. One Grand Duchess came from Mecklenburg, Anastasia, and she said, I will have in this room my ballroom, and in the middle I must have a fountain for to refresh everything. She said, and then was in the middle installed a fountain. But over years, many years, we don't know, after the Second World War, we don't know where is this fountain. And in the Second World War, here lived refugees and people of other lands, and with children and young people was a lot of destroyed. Yes, you can see until together. We went up the big staircase in Rosa Road, red a little bit. But it is not the original staircase. It has been black marble. But a fire in 1913 destroyed 2 parts of the castle. And the staircase we went up has been in black marble with a golden, what's this going around? Yes, and all fall down, and then they had
Golden spoon. This is literally a golden spoon.
You can imagine how it must have been in that old time. In the middle, a big table with very nice food on it. Meat, lobster, fish, wine, and red and white wine. And the dishes, silver, gold, crystal, and it must be have very, very nice. But when the family abdicated, they took with them the big table, yes? And we had to refurnish the rooms in the style how it has been. Please have a look at the two vases. Big vases were gifts from the Russian Tsar Nikolai. This family all over centuries had had a very nice relation with the Russian Tsar. Why? The oldest of all our dukes and grand dukes had been a Slavic prince with the name Niklot. And from this Niklot came all the dukes and grand dukes of Schwerin, and the relations to the Russian court were very close. This mobiliar in the middle is called 2x2 or 2x2. Sitting, he and she, young people, gazing in the eyes each other, and nobody could hear what they sitting through.
That's nice.
And very interesting, but the idea for this piece had not been in Germany, but in France. We say in Europe, in France, love is a special thing. And so they had many interesting things for repower and repower the love. Please look at the floor, it's nice, making of mahogany and oak and other nice arts of wood. Now we will have a look into the room.
I wanted to point out the vases again. Can I?
Yes, yes.
So I want to ask you a question. So how come they did not break on this long journey from Russia to Germany? So I can't ask how did they have to be transported, because you would respond carefully. So that is not the answer that I'm expecting. And so why did they not break? How could they be transported so successfully? Yeah, but nevertheless, I think it's very they wrapped it up. Wrapped in cradle.
Metal?
In what?
In metal
In
boxes?
what? No, this is possible.
Somewhat had to be in it.
Yeah, around it.
Around
And that was
in
we
the
want to give it
in the inner.
Yeah, in the inside as well. Cutter. So we put them into big barrels, and then we put butter around them in England, and when the butter got stiff, they could not move, and so they could not break. So next time when you pack your Christmas parcels, butter is the recipe, you know?
Yeah.
It's been warmer in winter time. The other side where the cold east and north wind over the lake it was coming to the castle, it was very cold in winter time. And here it was much warmer. And here we have a nice oven. And in the last day of the old year, the Ducal family gathered here and they made lead on the fire hot, and giving into cold water, it has been like an explosion. And everybody sitting around could take a piece of it and predict his future for the next year. And when I found such a piece, my grandmother said to me, "Show me, what is it?" I said, I can't tell you. Here it's looking like a little bit hair. Here also, what is it? And here an eye. And my grandmother said, that means in next year you will have relations with a young man with a beard. And so it came. And we married, and 30 years after he went to go with another one.
Wow.
This room is called Red Reception. When somebody wanted to speak with the Grand Duchess, he had to come in, his cross and his head, take the people around Grand Duchess. You had to look into the mirror. It's all good with my hands and my clothing, and then I come under the eyes of her. This room is made for that. Look at the nice gilded, what's lights 10?
Frames. So
Frames, yes. What do you think? What is the material of it? Paper mache. But paper mache has been very valuable in the 18th and 19th century. It was not so heavy like metal, and you could bring it in every color. In this room, excuse me,
Sure.
in this room you can see the portraits of people, not the great people of the court, but people who work for the court. He is the architect Georg Adolf Demmler. He went through Europe until France, and there he found the nice castle Chambord on the River Loire, and he designed it, and then he said to the Grand Duke, we must have a castle in that form. We have around the lake, we have a nice park around, and such a castle we must have. And so the Grand Duke said, yes, you can build it up. It's the wife of Demmler, his name. This Mr. Prosch, he had to look for the valuable things of the Grand Duke here and here. So he collected it in one big room. He was a composer. He lived in the middle of Schwerin at the little time. He was the piano teacher of the children of the Grand Duke, and he wrote Väter in den Graben, fressen in die Raben, Väter in die Hecke, Väter in die Hecke, Väter in das grüne Gras, macht es sich Höschen auf, Väter in den Sumpf, macht der Reiter Sumpf. But not to the only with the hands, yes?
Only symbolically, yeah.
And babies are crying. It's funny for them, very funny, yes? Once more, Grandma, once more, once more. Century, this room, winter room, and the tea room have been one big room. One big room in the bishop's house. This old house is a bishop's house. In winter time, the Grand Duchess with her ladies, they came here together. It was warm here. In that edge has been an oven. In the next room, the chimney, and it has been very nice here. They played cards or some other things. They spoke about nice times, summertime or so. And some days the children could come and see her mama, and they sat around this nice table. Please have a look at this picture. It's showing Venus, the goddess Venus, and the little Amor. She is showing him how to shoot the arrows of love. they must reach your heart, all hearts. And then the love is in yes. And the little doves are bringing the arrows back when they didn't reach
Heart.
their Ziel.
Yeah, a target.
We have a look at that picture. It's showing the castle Queen Louisa living in the time of Napoleon. All the time I say bad woman. She has born 11 children and died in age of 34 years.
So,
Every year a baby, every year. So now we have all seen on the first floor here. Die Laterne leuchtet hell, überall ist zur Stelle. Und wenn nachts die Menschen ruhen, dann hat ganz viel zu tun. Mit dem großen Schlüsselbunde macht durch das Schloss die Runde. Are starting in this court, now it is all over. But have a look at the golden cupola. On top is Archangel Michael, and from him came the name of Mecklenburg. 1,000 years ago, here lived Slavic people, and it has been one forest of German Christianity, and it was Michaelsburg, but the Slavic people couldn't say, they said only Mecklenburg. From Mecklenburg, Mecklenburg. And therefore the Grand Duke said, we must have Michael on the top of our castle and nothing bad will happen here. We don't know where all the goods have gone. Here has been the armies of American, English troops and Russian troops. And then we don't know where is the library nowadays. We have a look in the staircase. We have the material, this green material coming from Russia, from Ural, big Gebirge, rocks, big rocks of Ural, and it is malachite. Malachite together with gold is nice looking. Such presents came every year from the Russian court to this chandelier. Now I will look around. On top of the staircases we have got Goethe and Schiller, our well-known poets. In the middle is the god of and the muses you can see. And over here you can see Friedrich August Stüler and his young son Friedrich And now please have a look through the window to our lake. This green lake is on third place of all German lakes. And the first one, the biggest, is situated in Mecklenburg. Mühl is coming from Switzerland and Austrian. Thank you. And Austrian. But with all bad things I say, you can understand.
Yeah, of course.
I see you are amusing it. I'm pacifist. pacifist, and therefore I nothing say about weapons.
This is the sword.
But you can't look at a billiard table, a big table that family took billiard. Here we have something, not of gold, not of silver, but made of iron. When in families somebody died, then the ladies took iron, like earrings and necklaces. This room is decorated under the ceiling with a relief. This room is very, very high. You can see 16 columns of Carrara marble coming from Italy. On top of the columns you can see sculptures showing the good characters of mankind, Tugenden, good virtues. And you can see all the good virtues. And between the sculptures, you can see the weapon, coat of arms. Yeah, the coat of arms of 40 Mecklenburg towns. On top of the canopy, there is are showed the names of Schwerin, Rostock, Wismar, the biggest towns in that time, in the middle of 19th century, when it was decorated, and 40 towns of all over Mecklenburg you can see here. Nice made is around the luster, showing good virtues. Two portraits of Friedrich August Stüler and his first wife, Augusta, for her was installed the nice flower room. But she died at the age of only 44 years. And then he had two children, and he had to a new woman and another new. He was 3 times married. Please have a look at this nice rosetta. This nice rosetta is made of a lot of kinds of wood. Oak, maple, nussbaum, nut tree, and very nice. It's showing angels. They are making about all Mecklenburg or the Mecklenburg's Ducal family, their hands, and in the middle it is so that the people, the children in Germany and in other lands, they can't read nowadays these old Buchstaben, letters, these old letters. It is 2 times F, Friedrich Franz, F in silver, F in gold. And the corona on top is showing that this family is near the king's house. Yes, he was a nephew of the Prussian king, the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg. And you had to say, when you see him, Your Majesty, to him also, not only to the king and the Yes, and to him also, Your Majesty. And very deep you must make it, yes, and I will fall down. Was made red, when it was red of heat, then they closed the door and the heat came into this room. Yes, this nice room, very nice decorated. And the last, what we made some months ago, is that we had found under the roof of our castle rests of shabrake, when the shawl on the side of the window, and this is shabrake. We found it and it was not in order. We had to reproduce it. It has been very expensive. To the last Duke, all we are here assembled. The first in the 14th century was made a Duke by the Kaiser Karl. Kaiser Karl living that time at Österreich, yes. Albrecht the first has been. His son also with the name Albrecht has been for 30 years the king of Sweden. And they had been 3 brothers, and therefore in the sign of Sweden are 3 crowns on the left side above. These two dukes are Gründer, Founders. Yes, ich weiß es, aber es fällt mir nicht so schnell ein. Are the founders of the University of Rostock. Rostock on the Baltic Sea had the first university all over the north of Germany. It has been in 1419, very, very old, more than 600 years. And here we can read the title Ducal came over here with Albrecht. And there are the grand dukes on the side. This couple, Anna-Sophie of Prussia and Johann Albrecht of Mecklenburg, they lived in the 16th century, and in that time was built the first Lutheran church in complex of our castle. And these two had a very nice relation to Luther, Evangelisch Church, Luther and Melanchthon. And therefore they installed in Germany this new direction of religion. Very nice floor. A long history of this family. It dates to the 12th century, to the first Mithra. Hotel, yes, for very, very rich people. They pay for one night 300 euros.
Wow.
And so this one the end of our tour. The old Prince Niklot fall into against Henry IX is coming, he wanted to buy something. They were looking like people, they had to bring something. But then they took off their coats and they were soldiers of Henry IX. And Nicholas, the old prince, was slain and his son couldn't help him. It has been too late. He went ago with his brothers, and then Henry IX he needed these princes. Why? They could speak German, other people of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, and he couldn't speak this Slavic language, and therefore Henry IX said, the sons of Niklot can come to me, I will make them nice people, and giving him a little castle and a little castle. And so from the 13th century until the new time, all people came out of the family of Niklot, the old Slavic prince.
Stein of the north. We call also Schwerin the city of, or we say it is the Florence of the north. And we also say this is the fairy tale city. So because of the castle, and also I would say a fairy tale like countryside that we have here. We have 13 lakes in Schwerin. And the biggest lake is Lake Schwerin. That is the lake that surrounds the castle, and we could say it's literally floating on it. So we have 4 old parts of the former castle which survived, and we can see them from the inside. We can have a look at the facade of the oldest parts. They are from the 16th and 17th century. So, but long time ago, there was a man called Niklot. And next time when you come, there is this test on Aschenputtel. And the pigeons play a role inside. The pigeons also played a role with armor. So when he did not hit with his arrows, his love arrows, then the doves, the pigeons brought the arrow back. So also in Aschenputtel, in the German one, they play a big role, and that's why I also have chosen special little clips for you. So I think they are, I mean, we can imagine they are pigeons, okay? And they also should remind you of the fact that the ending. I mean, many parents nowadays don't read the fairy tales of the Grimm brothers to their children anymore because they contain a certain kind of brutality. So I hand the original version out anyway because you are grown-ups. I think you will survive that. But maybe you can think of a better ending. So the last paragraph can be changed by you. Okay, yesterday I thought about, shall I delete it? But then I thought, no, I'm not authorized to do that. So I'm not authorized to do that. So I should give it to you in the original version. I will.
Thank you.
Your tour guide today?
Yeah.